Valve is an infamously quiet company. It doesn't look like they do much, but sometimes they make a game, and they claim to lurk about on social media, watching what's happening. But they seldom get involved, preferring to be a fly on the wall, simply there to observe the community in its natural habitat. Once in a blue moon they comment, often leading to many upvotes and much fanfare. You can see a compilation of Valve comments here. As well as this, I believe they also skulk about on YouTube, watching me and my 4 brothers' content. I can't say for sure, but I believe certain things have been added to the game following my suggestions, like improved clipping on Dust 2 stairs, and HRTF audio just months after I moaned extensively about how terrible the surround sound was in the game. And, of course, in the next few months, a number of new disability features will be shipped out to aid those with impaired vision and hearing. Won't they, Valve? If you're lucky, like very lucky, then you might even get your name featured in the patch notes when you help inspire change. In the whole time I've been covering CSGO content on this channel, I've been mentioned once. What I'm trying to get across is, firstly how great I am, but also that Valve does listen, and there's been recent proof that they are still lurking and listening. Just the other day, Birkir posted on Reddit about a problem with Valve's HRTF audio. As you know already, HRTF audio more accurately simulates surround sound, making it easier to distinguish whether a sound is coming from behind, above, or below you. Birkir discovered that a command had been added which allows HRTF to more closely match the perceived direction of a sound source as seen by the actual player behind a monitor. Here's the crazy part. By default, it's set to play sounds as though your ears are 100 units behind your character in-game. I'm pretty sure you'd quickly realise in real life if everything was playing as though your ears were 8 feet behind you, but apparently this seems just fine in CSGO. Problem is, you were free to change the value to whatever you wanted. You could have set it to 0, 100 or 10,000 units behind your head. Or if you wanted to know what sounds are being played ahead of you, you could set it to a negative value which transported your ears to in front of your position. That's like the audio equivalent of wallhack. Birkir even posted an example of this in action. In my opinion, it's a bit confusing to use in practice, but that's okay because you can bind 2 buttons to gain momentary superhuman hearing before returning it all to normal again. Just so you're aware of the limitations, it's not really like your ears are however many units ahead or behind you. It seems to keep the same volume as they would be from where you're actually stood, so if a sound's out of range of your player's view model, it still won't play, no matter what value you set it to. But it will change the direction it appears to come from, and will reduce the muffle and distortion effect, which could make certain quiet footsteps easier to hear than they would be from your actual standing position. And with practice, it would make it easier to pinpoint where distant sounds are coming from. So I think you'll agree, it was still an exploit that needed fixing. So Birkir emailed Valve in August about it, notifying them of the bug, how to replicate it, and detailing out why he thought it could be a problem. And then, in this rather unassuming patch note, Valve quietly fixed it. So there, Valve does fix things. It's just that even if they do, you might not know. In this example, they didn't reach out to Birkir to thank him, nor did they feature his name, nor the specifics of the problem, in the update. It was only thanks to his own detective work that he even discovered that Valve had patched the problem that he had reported. I know Birkir's name because he's a very knowledgeable person who's forever posting on the CSGO subreddit and correcting me when I skip over things. He's been at it for years, silently helping improve a game that millions of people play, for no reason I can think of other than because he wants to help. He even got mentioned in an update post. Once. He even helped me with this video by linking to a Valve presentation from 2014, where Valve actually discussed their policy on external communication, and it helps explain why they communicate so infrequently with the community. But I'm going to warn you now, knowing why still doesn't prevent it from feeling like a raw deal. They put it like this: when notified about a bug, they may start with good intentions. They may set out to fix it, only to run into problems that make it not so easy to fix. Or maybe fixing it would lead to other problems. Or maybe they can't fix it. Or maybe they shouldn't fix it, because it's not actually a bug, merely a feature. Because of that, they think it's best not to promise things. That's why they don't comment. They don't want to shape public perception of the issue by taking a stance on the bug, as it would ultimately influence public opinion about it going forward, potentially forever. And they don't promise things because they believe with games as a service, like CSGO, it's important that they can change their mind. What's right today for the game might not be right a year later. Valve doesn't discuss stuff because they don't want to limit their options in the future, and they don't want public comments of theirs being used against them later on. They'd rather just work on improving the product. And sadly, one of the unintended side effects of this means not thanking people, though I still think they could more often. There are times when they do reach out, especially when the community's opinion of how things operate is so wrong that it's actually getting in the way of discussing the topics themselves. That's when they would reach out to clarify. In other words, they communicate merely to prevent forum debates from being derailed from misinformation. In this presentation from 2014, they even discuss update posts, saying that fewer high-value posts are better than regular boring ones. So maybe that's why they deliberately make the tiny bug fix updates like this one look so dull and generic that even I didn't bother investigating it. And I'll just end this video with one time when Valve did respond, and perhaps later regretted it when their response on the hit reg became a meme.